that. Let's get there. Well, as I look around, I have just come out of retirement officially. I have camped quite, I was going to say fluently, but sometimes not very fluently. I've camped all the way across Canada, 26,000 kilometers worth of it. That camping involved lakes, cities, streams, towns, communities, back of a post office, a washroom floor, you name it, I've camped there. And I've retired from that. I haven't been in this tent for about 4.5 years officially. It was neat to set it up, take a look around, and see what the condition of it was. Altogether, not too bad. I did have an issue with the, what do we call them? I was going to call them the beams. The poles. And the poles were still in great condition. They're aluminum, so they should be. I did have elastic rot. So the elastics just aren't quite the same. So a little snip, a little tie, and I got them up, got them working. I'm worried about when I do disassemble it, what's going to occur. So I might need some of this Gorilla Tape to hold the poles together. But that's being prepared, even when you're as rusty as can be, even with aluminum poles. But I'm going to go at it. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I've been kind of meaning to do this. I just didn't know the value of it until I seen a fellow that he calls it stealth camping, and then I checked around YouTube, and there's quite a few people that are stealth camping, which means finding any little place anywhere to slip in undetected, camp there for the night, and slip out in the morning. 26,000 kilometers, 11,421 kilometers of me walking solo across Canada. And, here it is. When you're doing something like that, it always comes down. People ask me, well, where'd you sleep? Where did I sleep? I always tell them best option. And it's kind of disappointing to them because it kind of eliminates the stories. But if they want to ask a little further, then again, I will add one night pushing the trailer I built, physically built, to pull across Canada, pushing the door open in the morning and hearing ice shatter off it like glass in the morning. And by afternoon, I wasn't really camping at all. But then again, I shouldn't say that because I pulled into a hotel. It was offered to me for free, king-size bed, fireplace, jacuzzi. Now, mind you, just hours before, I'm shivering from 8:30 to 11 in the morning until the sun got up over the mountains. I was shivering. It was cold. Real cold. To have that, it's still, when you go into even that, it's still a different environment than you just were in, and you have to adjust. And I think that's what camping's all about. Whatever environment you're in, adapting to it. Come to think of it, I don't know why the heck anybody would want to camp. That's probably why I haven't done it in 4.5 years. It's to have your own bed, to walk across maybe a living room into a kitchen and hold up this is on the road, this is your water. But to hold up a glass under a tap, have the tap pour in water, simple, easy. Food, open up your fridge, open up your cupboards, it's there. Your shelter, you get too cold, turn up the thermostat. Gets too hot, turn down the thermostat, open a window. it's not quite the same thing when you're camping. Camping's people do it to relieve stress. um, get away from the hustle and bustle of the city to have these problems that could have you have a really miserable night occur to you. I don't want to ramble too much on, but I do want to make those points. It's camping. I don't get it. I don't get why people want to do it. Myself, preparing to, I just want to walk across Canada for a charity, and my theme was every step that takes a step towards a cure. So for me, every single step was very, very important and counted. And there are a lot of steps that are required to do such a massive, massive journey. Again, 11,421 kilometers with walking, 14,632 kilometers with bicycling across Canada. So combined, and in between camp. And a lot of pains and misery along the way that you don't expect. How did I prepare for that? Well, I'm going to do several vlogs. I don't know if I'm really set up today, being this is day one back from retirement from camping. But I think I'm going to do several vlogs just to touch base with it and maybe give you some insight. It's complex when you're considering a journey so big. Very complex. And I barely camped in my life prior to it. So I had to learn some things. And I'm going to say this because it is something I discovered. It's far easier to teach somebody something than to reteach or learn over top of something they've already done. So I think being very green, very novice in my journey probably opened up my mind a lot more to people's opinions, and asking questions were very, very important. When, again, I was doing it for a charity. And I even right now, I didn't anticipate sitting quite the way I am, that my right leg would fall asleep. It has. I'm used to coming in after a long day and just crashing. But yes, my leg is falling asleep, so I'm going to readjust. But, and I'll say this about camping and a journey like what I did. It is all about options and adjustments. And as is life, have your options, adjust to them. Very important in life, very important and sometimes essential to camping. I don't know where I was going to go with that before my butt fell asleep. I'm going to go on. So I do want to talk about making it simple. And I guess it's that saying, the KISS saying, keep it simple, stupid. It can apply. So I've really broken down the journey to food, water, shelter. That's all you need. Think about it. If you have food, you're good. You can endure the journey for whatever the trip does in bringing you down and tearing you down during the day. Overnight, you're able to rebuild and be ready for the next day. For me, sometimes, I'll give you an example. 50 kilometers one day, 74 kilometers the next, and I think it was 33 or 34 the following day, kilometers walked. So how I did that, I was going to say I don't know. I do know, and it is, putting a lot of things into your foundation to become strong. As I say, strength. Strength is the strength you're able to achieve from being strong, or something like that. So enough for rambling, because what I do want people to do is to keep watching. For one simple reason. I want you to subscribe, share, subscribe. Subscribe, Share, subscribe. I get 1,000 viewers, then YouTube will start giving me some kickback. You guys might be forced to watch a commercial or two, and hopefully I'll get paid. If I get paid, I can achieve maybe another journey across Canada, and I hope to. That's what I'm building up for, to get back out there, get out of retirement, and get at it again. And we'll see what happens. And with back then, when I did my journey across Canada, I didn't have the opportunity to share it like this on YouTube. So I guess I am. I'm actually rambling far more than I expected because I'm very excited. So follow me along. Maybe I'll just try to get right back into it here right now. Okay. That out of the way. Food, water, shelter. Let's break it down. You need food. I guess your first question is, well, what food did Mr. Redmond take on his journey across Canada? I don't think I really determined it right away, but as I got going, I realized I need what I call fast protein, slow protein, fast sugar, slow sugar. And when I say fast sugar, that did not necessarily mean straight on tabletop bag of sugar, what you put in your coffee. No. Faster sugars may be fruits, vegetables, and as I'm talking food, let's see, a food bag. Yeah. So here's an example. Maybe the sugars I can get, and I can see through my bag here, viewable. I can see what I got in there, so I don't have to fuss around too much. Time out there isn't money. Time out there on the road is energy. When you're camping, time is energy. A banana, pretty good. There's fast sugars in here, among other things to keep you hydrated. Eating fruits, vegetables, on top of giving you the nutrients you need, as well as the sugars and some protein, they really also help provide hydration, so that's very important. Bananas, not so good when you're trying to pack. Carrots, better. Bananas, when they do ripen, of course, they get mushy. When they get mushy, I've had it happen. Okay, it gets over everything. It's a mess. You don't realize you move the bag, you've been throwing the bag all around all day, and before too long, everything in that bag is covered with banana guts. Don't want that. What I did find and worked really, really well when I was out bicycling across Canada were carrots. Simple carrots. These ripen up really quick. Carrots don't ripen as quickly. You're able to keep them for quite a while. Roots are very good. And the real benefit of a carrot is it can be the last thing you pack because they do stay pretty good. And I don't have a carrot on me, but you can understand the shape of a carrot. You can pow, 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 and pound it into a bag. A bag like that can be the last thing you put in there. Cram it because, camping, you want to cram as much as you can in such little area because you don't want a lot of bulk with you. But you can't imagine cramming a banana in as last. Roots. I found this to be good. A rutabaga. It says right in it. Rutabaga. Love it. Not a turnip. Turnips more white. Rutabaga. A radish. What was I going to say? Rutabaga, turnip. Turnip is more like a radish in flavor and stuff, and even look at a large wrap. But a rutabaga, same kind of family, more yellow inside, more of a purple top, and a yellow bottom. I find these very good because, you can just gnaw on them. Again, as you break down, it's got a little bit of course, liquid in it, so you're also helping to hydrate yourself. Yeah, it's good. I love them. They were good. So, another good thing. So, both of those kind of fast sugars. I'm going to skip to the slow sugar, but yet fast protein. Oh, have to lean in here. Milk jerky is what I used to call it. Cheese lasts pretty good as well. It, of course, gets sometimes soft in the heat, and that certainly in the spring, very good to take along with you. It has calcium. Calcium is going to really help you move along. We need it. That's how our muscles work. If you don't have calcium, your muscles stop working. Where does your muscles get calcium if you don't put it in you? It's going to take it from your bones, your teeth, just to keep yourself going, keep yourself alive. Your brain needs calcium. So it's very, very important. So important. Calcium. I'll take tablets as well. Very important. That said, for my journey, 74-kilometer day, if you have a grocery store, I would be stopping for orange juice and milk, just to get that high content of calcium more than anything. Needed. So cheese jerky, good stuff. What else we got in here? Fast sugars, slow sugars. Fat is a slow sugar. That's the way I consider fat. The slowest of all sugars. That's where you get your energy. So the sugars is what's going to give you energy. The calcium is going to be able to take that energy and turn it into motion. On top of that, you have your fast proteins. As I say, you get them out of milk because it's just the digestion of it. You get in your system. Slow protein. Can of tuna, great. As I say, the time is energy out there. So, time is energy. That said, I like these little cans. These little tins, they got a little tab. I'm not going to open it up in this tent because I don't want my tent smelling like tuna. So what I'm going to do is to show you something. A lot easier to open here with this energy than to bring a can and open it along with you. But you could, if you have to open up something like this. Of course, canned goods are great. They last a long time. This can itself is probably worth 4 or 5 years. This is left over from my trip sometime back then. I used to really like sardines until my journeys across Canada where I ate too many and I found a better option. I like that a lot better. But, it takes time to, so might not be the best option. Anyways, food. I'm going to get into food a little bit more when I'll head out on the road, and I'll show you exactly what I would take overnight. But I'm almost done talking about food. Food itself. One thing about food is, of course, it's very attractive to you, and you know where I'm going with this. It's also very attractive to other animals. Eating inside your tent, not recommended. When you're exhausted like me, I did. If it's cold out, messy, again, putting your energy like that, especially on a messy, rainy day too. Like my thing that I did, I would sometimes really stop for a day. Where my clue was, if I didn't hear the animals, I figure it was too messy. If it's too messy for them, it's probably not the best thing for me either. Because again, I'm just wasting my energy that I could be using the next day. Rain, sometimes like cold rain, I call it killer rain. Anywhere from 0 degrees to even 10 degrees. 5 degrees Celsius to 0, definitely. That's a killer rain. It could be a day to rest. Could be, unless you have to fight it out. On those sunny days, eating in your tent, it was nice and hot and things are ripening and, animals are going to smell it and they're going to be interested. That said, here is my food bag. What would I do? It's cinched that up. It's waterproof. And as you can see, as I'll hold it up, as I did remove the air, it's pretty airproof too. I can hear some air as I put pressure there. But it's going to definitely reduce the odor of that food. Now, is it safe to keep in the tent? Maybe. It's safe if a bear isn't hungry nearby. I will take you guys out at some point and show you a simple trick. Take a rope, tie it around it, let that rope go out, tie a stick around it, and throw it over a branch. And then pull this thing up the tree, as high as you can, and then tie that string down to the bottom. It's up the tree for you to have the next day. It's away from the ground to keep all animals away from it as well. I mean, pretty unlikely a bear is going to be able to maneuver himself out a branch and dangle down a string to grab your food. So that's good. And away from the tent. So let's bring in food in with the shelter. This is sheltering your food. That's important. Food, water, shelter. And some of them are interchangeable, like I just said. Just like that. But I'll get into that more. Where am I at to? Oh, water. Water. Man, there's lots of water out there. Canada has a lot of fresh water lakes. A lot of water. Rivers, streams, ditches. Oh, yeah. You can keep yourself pretty hydrated. Not bad at all. Plus, in between you get, like I said, yeah, I can get milk and juice, and I can get water in between. Well, on average, about 25, 26 kilometers, you can get certain fresh water in local towns and communities. And as I found out going across Canada, why the 21, 26, somewhere in between there, why towns were set up that way. It was to fuel trains, old coal trains that were going across Canada. Little hamlets is set up just to set that up. So you can expect about, every, let's just say 25 to make it safe, kilometers, there should be some kind of community. Of course, some of them are dying down a bit, and you might not find the resources. Sometimes they'll be 50 kilometers. As I found out between Ignace and Uppsala, much further. You're isolated, 100 kilometers. So you either walk a great distance in a day or find water in between. Lakes, rivers, and streams. Oops. But that's where also microorganisms like to live in some of those rivers, lakes, ditches. So I never liked the idea of using iodine to kill them, especially, that's fine when you're doing, a camping trip every 6 months. When I was doing it on a daily basis, I can't imagine what having iodine on a daily basis at that content would have done to me. I did get a water filtration system, and even in a recent journey, water. This is the one I got. And again, this is just coming out of retirement, so I apologize at the length of things, but I kind of want to go over things, maybe catch your interest. But I'll explain this, and I'll show you how things work. If I don't break the thing, trying to get it out here. But this is a dandy little rig. I've used it in all those places I said, lakes, rivers, streams, ditches. Now, one end, interesting little thing, this is going to filter out the main silt and stuff. It's always better to, try to find a, ideally, I would say, conditions work when conditions, or idealism works when conditions are ideal. Often things aren't ideal. They're certainly not always ideal out there. It's got a nice little float on it. You put it on top of the water. You float it in a river. I've done it. You float in a lake. I've done it. Swamps, again, watch too much silt because you don't want to totally clog that up. But it's a nice little initial filter. And of course, the deeper filter is here. And you just simply plop it down and pump it. How? Well, there are these nice little, about the size of the top of a mason jar, nice little bottles you can buy like this, and they're standard. You just simply, awesome. This thing, you don't need iodine. I mean, it's costly, $400, but you get what you pay for. What that would get me at $400 is 10,000 liters of water. Yeah, I think I worked it out to be 3 or 4 years of water. So, well worth it. Especially, as I said, if you're going to go to a store and buy water for 26,000 kilometers, much, much, much better. As well, you basically get water wherever you go. So, a nice little bottle like this. It is a standard. I'm going to show you how much of a standard because I have a bigger bag, pardon me, that you can carry water. This one here, a full 6 liters. So it's nice to have 2, 3 of those. You're at least probably going to go through 2 liters a day with exertion, maybe 3 with vigorous exertion. I know myself, over a 2-day period going through the Coquihalla Highway, I did go through 6 or more liters in 2 days. The hills were immense. Again, this little standard, and just simply hook in. So right there, I pump away for a couple of minutes, and I will get 6 liters of water. Food, water, shelter. Yeah. So I'll set that aside and put that back later. Shelter. Butt's going to sleep again. So, shelter can be just a simple tarp. These tarps, I think, probably pay maybe $7.99, $9.99. I mean, that could be all you need for a night. And the mosquitoes will love you for it. Certainly early spring, late fall, when those bugs go down, tarp is so easy. I mean, even with this, a simple bit of yarn or something more intensive. I had it, but I lost it. A rope. You throw up a tarp, that's it. For me, I had a jogging stroller. I'd throw this over a jogging stroller. The tent pegs, put the tent pegs down on this. They got eyelets, just like a tent does. I can't necessarily show you, but they're in there. If you've seen these, you know it. Work very well to take these tarps along with you. I use a tarp as a foot for the tent as well. It's something you could throw away. I even had a tarp in a tent once when I was having some of my fast protein, which was whey powder I took along with me. After a very long, exhausting day, I need a little water, a little whey protein. I reached for the whey protein. Reached for the water, knocked over the whey protein, so powder went poof. And then when I went to reach for what I just knocked over, I knocked over the water on top of it. So I had a big bookie mess in my tent. Fortunately for me, I laid down a tarp in my tent, and I just simply, instead of it getting all over the tent, that was the smartest thing I think I did on the road. Dumbest and the smartest all at once. Was to take that tarp, and all I did was throw it out. That was it. I was so tired. So it really did saved me at that point. But it sheltered the base of my tent from that cookie mess that I probably never would have cleaned up, because protein like that really is a sticky mess. It's even something if you have your rain shelter that you put over the tent as well. If it might even save time and effort just by putting a tarp over it. It works the same purpose. If you don't expect heavy rain, certainly in heavy rain, you do want to have that rain jacket on top of the tent. You want it fully covered, and even with that heavy rains, it does still seem to find its way in somehow, especially when it's windy. Yeah, but on a night, a windy night, I ended up finding, put your tent really in the trees. Find some thick brush, know which way that wind's blowing, and shelter. I worry about that too. Remember, high winds, branches do fall. But I think good, heavy, deciduous trees, even if the branches do fall, the thickness of that coverage may help to reduce the impact. When you're out there and it's windy, as I said, best option, try to find some civilization before that storm and keep ahead of the weather. Really get ahead of it so that you're not in that situation. But if you have to, really think about where you're having to shelter. And also worried. I was also worried about, knowing that there was heavy rain along with the wind, was worried about where I put the tent, because you never know where the rain is going to go. What turns into a trail, what was a trail could turn into a torrent of a stream, and you could be washed right out completely. So that's scary stuff. Getting ahead of myself. Again, I'm excited. Coming out of retirement, camping. What was the last time? Food, water, shelter. Yeah, that might be it. But I'll get into more and more of it. Oh, wait a minute, it's not it. No, it's not. Because when we think of shelter, we think of this. A shelter can also be this. Now, I chose all wraparound leather. Look at that. These were the type of boots I used across Canada, Zamberlan. Zamberlan. Italian leather. $300, but they last for years. So comfortable. Absolutely, there were weapons for my feet with this wraparound leather. And why the wraparound leather was important to me? Less seams, less give. When the leather does adjust to your feet, it stays adjusted to your feet. They custom built after a while, right? Now, very good. Gore-Tex lining, very durable Gore-Tex lining, I must say. It does take quite a bit of wear. I averaged with the sole of these about 1,400 kilometers each boot. Before the soles were worn down to without tread. So very good boots. Awesome. Shelter. When you have to come out of your shelter, this is a luxury. I love slipping on here, for those nightly walks. And I just want to interrupt to go share, subscribe, share. Share, subscribe, share. Do that. I want this to be, again, I want to make money out of this. I want just you guys watching this, simply watching this, to produce some revenue for me, because I do want to go back out there for another big mission. With some luxury. These are a luxury, but they're great because again, you want to rest when that day is over. You need so much rest to rebuild. And if you're interrupted in the night too much, then that's going to disrupt your sleep and the process of building yourself back up. So, having said this, slipping on, as easy as that. Look at that. One, look how quick. Let me see. I'm going to get the other one on. Two. I'm out the door for my nightly walk, and you can imagine what that is. We all succumb to the acts of nature. So yeah, it keeps my feet warm. Out the door I go, long johns, and within a couple of minutes to relieve myself, I can come back to the tent and go right back to sleep. No mess around with shoelaces and stuff like that. No walking out into the dark, bare feet or socks. You don't want to do that. So this little luxury is a good piece of equipment in the long haul, something to consider. Okay, what else? What else do I got? Shelter. My boots were a weapon. This right here gives you the animal element. I'll hold it up, cover my face. This is number one for me, the best bit of shelter I think I can imagine having on. It's basically fur. It's merino wool, merino sheep fur, basically, and you get to wear it. I love this so much. I told them so much. I talk about this, and this is Icebreaker Merino Wool, and they did sponsor me for the journey across. I got. Oh, even this was. This was basically a freebie. It smells great. I haven't had it on for years, and it does. So for merino wool, that's so important. I can't even emphasize it. Just so important, layer by layer, and you're able to put it on, and it helps regulate your body heat. So not only does it keep you warm, it can also keep you cool. I had a shirt on very much like this on my bike ride. I don't think I took it off, maybe to shower, and then went right back on. But I had it on from, I believe, Sault Ste. Marie to 10 kilometers west of Winnipeg. And I think that was like 1,200 kilometers or something like that. I figured it out, maybe 14, somewhere around there. Days on days on days bicycling across Canada. It stayed on. Even sweating. And this was not in the winter. This was in the summer, the dead of summer. And it would build up sweat deposits. Nice salty little, sometimes you can just do that. The salt comes off and it would look like new. If I did have to wash it, you could just go to a sink and just rinse it off, and it's good. And you can put it on dry or wet; it'll dry on you. Even that, one of the better materials when wet to still be able to keep you warm than most other products. So it's really good. And so you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, thousands of kilometers, this thing must stink. Antibacterial properties in the wool itself. Like I say, I love the smell of it. It doesn't really smell. It's got that something about it. Antibacterial properties. I not only do I like to wear it, even over the last 4.5 years since I've been on the road, I have merino wool socks. With a few other little fibers mixed in for durability. But to me, they're the only sock I want on my feet. And, as I'm sitting here, I'm feeling clammy because this is not merino wool. If I had this on, I would not feel that way because it also brings that moisture off your body, releases it. You're able to dry it out. So much better. Whew. I am so Sorry, this vlog went so long. But as you can see, there's a heck of a lot more I can say, a heck of a lot more stories, and a heck of a lot more things I want to show you. But this is fundamentally coming out of retirement. I have a saying, as I did right across Canada: assess before distress. So this is an assessment. I found out that my poles of my tent, the elastics aren't quite as good. I'm eventually going to have to replace them, and eventually going to have to replace the tent. So it's done me well. So that's one thing. It's assessing before you go out there. What do I need essentially? Is it a night trip? Well, we can maybe together walk together into the night and figure out what that's going to be. What's your essentials? Ninja stuff is what I say. Basically what you need. And I will say this. Maybe I'll grab the camera. Is knowing where you put your stuff as well in the tent. So I'm going to come around here. As I say about food, here's a little pouch. Basically, for my vitamins, that's where I keep them. I don't need them immediately in the middle of the night. I don't. The cheese would not be in here. That's crazy. That's crazy. Always come in handy. When you do stop at a hotel, I recommend grabbing one. They're not really going to miss it. But that's how you restock. For those night trips outside, here we go. Again, But that's if you want to. Again, time is energy. Time is energy. Remember that about camping. Time is energy. This might save you time and energy. How? This to me is color-coded. I know this particular bottle is when I don't want to go outside in the middle of the night and waste energy. I have to go. My bodily functions say I have to, do what has to be done. So I will roll over and I didn't want to share that with you, but think about it. Time is energy. So little pouches in your tent you can keep handy. I know I do want to put on, if it's sunny, sunblock. Now this in particular, that's a pretty strong sunblock. And I know it should be safer than even the adults because, well, there it is, kids, right? And less likely it's going to irritate the eyes as well. And with my exertion, I was doing a lot of sweating. What else do I got in here? Oh, yeah, we've seen this before. Some Gorilla tape. Oh, what else do I got? Oh! Yep. Sometimes you need to take a little wash in a stream or whatnot. Biodegradable. I don't like the idea of putting anything strong into outdoor lakes, rivers, and streams because, heck, that's not good for the environment. It's not good for the fishies. However, I could probably catch a fish with this. Let me see this thing. What is it? Oh, if I can maneuver it with one hand. Look at that. This is strong dental floss. If I had a hook, I could probably catch a fish with it. But it's also strong to do so much other things with, as you can imagine. I mean, very, very strong for dental floss. If you can't pack a lot of rope, you can pack dental floss. At the very least, you can have good hygiene. So a nice little thing. Again, that side bag is things that don't necessarily need through the night. Let's come over here. What do I got over here? Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. I hope I never need this. Now, here's usually my vantage point. As I'll show you. I'm like this. Oops. Here we go. I'm in the middle of the night laying down on my tent. Oh, let's go.
And then all of a sudden I hear a noise. And if it rumbles and it sounds bigger than me and it tries to get in my tent, I want to know exactly where this is. And that's not meaning I'm going to spray it immediately. I don't want to spray it at all. Because what I don't want to do is have to break down my tent in the middle of the night and have to try to find a new location. As much as pepper spray is a deterrent from a big bear busting into your tent and busting you up to get to food, it is a deterrent that way. Something you don't want to fire off in your tent either. If you spray it, move camp, because where it scares away that bear, the smell of it is interesting enough to attract other animals, including other bears, to come into the area. So where you got rid of one, you may be attracting 2, 3, 4, or as many in the area. So, yeah. But I have it to my left side, always. It's always in my mind to the left side. Why? If I ever did need it, I cannot waste time in getting it. And I cannot waste time with getting out the door of my tent as quick as I can and ready for the attack. Now, I don't have it in the tent right now, but to my right hand, I will have a knife. So that's the last defense. Food, water, shelter, and protecting yourself. I will add that, So, yes. To the left, pepper spray. To the right. And the right being my strongest hand. And even with my strongest hand, it gives me the ability... I'm going to try to do this without dumping the camera. If I had a knife in my hand, like this, you can see, before I even pull the knife, I'm able to remove this and use the pepper spray. I can activate my thumb, my trigger finger, and still hold a knife if I have to actually physically attack the beast. So, all things considered. I'll look around the tent some more. I've really talked longer than I anticipated, but, we're under an hour. So, use your tent as if it's your home. 5 foot. Use it as your home. Pack it like it's your cupboards. Know where your washroom is. Know where your boots are. Have them ready. Boots near the door. That's where they belong. I will surprise you. I am not camping at the moment. I am stealth camping within my house, in the comfort of my house. And yes, when it comes to food, water, shelter, well, you can see by the pizza boxes, you got a lot of access to food. And there's my bicycle. But, it would usually be boots outside the door. Just like close to the door, outside the door, just like at your house. So vitamins, knickknacks, flashlight might go in there if you need it, and sometimes up on the ceiling, as well as pepper spray to the side. Sleeping bag. Have it good to minus 20, minus 30. On top of that, I have it here. Have a good lining, and keep that merino wool on. So this is a liner for the sleeping bag as well. And I'll talk about, sometimes putting this together. As you can see, look how much space it's taking up. It's the sleeping bag itself. But you can get these little nice cinched little bags, that compression bags, where you can compress items into it down to smaller sizes, where you can fit them in panniers, like say on this bike here. You can pack them in there quite nicely. Go over there. There you go. If you were to bike. Otherwise, yeah. So, enough said. I'm going to leave it at that for now. But these are the things I'm going to tackle into the future and maybe help you guys assess what you need. And keep it simple. I mean, Camping should be fun. It shouldn't be a huge thought process, but sometimes thinking about it is fun. Also, some of those things that planning a trip, sometimes you become disappointed because of the failings in the trip. Like, this isn't going the way I planned, and all of a sudden you're like, and you shut down because your trip's a failure because it's not going the way you expected. Don't expect it to go the way you expected. If you think your trip is going to go the way you expected, I don't know what to say for you. But enjoy those moments. Even when a badger tries to sneak under your, not badger, sorry, it was a wolverine. Never mind. A wolverine tried to go under my tent one night because I camped at a campground where somebody probably dumped the water from whatever they were cooking on the gravel where I didn't know about and set up my tent. So something came sniffing and happened to be a wolverine in the middle of the night. At 2:30 in the morning, when you grab that pepper spray and you grab that knife and you jump out of your tent in great fear because I pushed on this thing and it pushed back. It wanted under there. But when I jumped out of the tent, I guess it was enough to startle it, where it disappeared into the darkness. And I was left there holding a knife, right hand, and in my left hand, the pepper spray, waiting for anything that really was a ghost in the night. It wasn't there. So I could have planned for that, and I did. I didn't plan for that. I didn't expect that, but it happened. It certainly is a good story. And because I did a little bit of planning, I was prepared. But that said, just because you plan for things and they don't go the way you expected, don't worry about it. Plan for it. Do your best. Look at your ninja wear. That's what I want to say. Pack light, but pack enough. I will show you, before I leave, my trailer of ignorance. It was 300, 400 pounds full of supplies and everything I need in it. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, trailer I built because I absolutely didn't know. And I didn't know what I had to plan for, so I planned for absolutely everything. And it was a great haul, even up that Coca Hall Highway right to the top. But I again planned for that, just to be stronger, eat more, and drink lots of water. But anyways, I'm rambling. I wish you were here with me so you could ask me questions. And that said, if you feel like asking me questions, absolutely write me. I will answer them. And I really do. I want to be right here because it's tough to talk about things because I will ramble on because I want to give you everything all at once. I'm going to have to try to break it down, and I hope I did a little bit in this well enough. Again, I'm rusty all around and coming out of retirement again from the camping. But I'm hoping, if you want to comment, ask me questions, things you might be interested in, things you might want me to try out. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And there's certainly already products that have come onto the market that I'm dying to try out, like this bag that's very similar to this, that you put your clothes in, put a little water, a little bit of that soap I showed you, scrub it around, shake it up, and it becomes your own washing machine. Something very similar to this. I want to try that product out. Any other products, any other ideas, please share it with me. Watch. This, and this needs to happen. I got to get up over that 1,000 subscribers, and then it's rock and roll. YouTube is going to give me a little bit of cash, and I can do a lot more. And I'm again hoping to get out and do a whole national trip again, showing you all the environments that I face. The woods, the prairies, the mountains, the lakes, the streams, even the cities. What do I do when I come in the city? What is the best option that way? So for you to see it all. Anyways, I want to leave it at that. And hopefully keep watching. I'm going to do a lot more of these things, and I may even break things down a little bit later. We're going to talk about food. I'll show you food, talk about water. I'll show you how to use that filtration system, as well as when we talk about shelter. I'll let you consider everything, even what you put on your head and body. Mosquitoes are so nasty. Anyways, cheers, folks, and thanks for joining me inside my tent and inside my home. And all this talk about camping makes me want to order pizza because it's a lot better option. Anyways, cheers again, folks.